What's the strangest rule your family had that made no sense until you learned the real reason? Growing up, we had one absolute rule that made zero sense. No one was allowed to answer the door after 6 p.m. Ever. My mom would physically block us if we even moved toward the door when someone knocked. Dad installed a special deadbolt that required a key from the inside. When my friends came over for sleepovers, they thought my parents were paranoid freaks. What if it's an emergency? I'd ask. Then they'll call 911, Mom would say, her voice shaking like she'd seen a ghost. The rule was so strict that when my aunt collapsed on our front porch during a family barbecue at 7 p.m., we watched through the window as she convulsed on our welcome mat. Mom dialed 911 but wouldn't unlock the door until the paramedics arrived. My aunt survived, but she never spoke to us again. At family gatherings, she'd stare at my parents with this look of pure disgust. I was 12 when I started questioning everything. Why did we move every 2 years like clockwork? Why did Mom flinch whenever someone mentioned our last name at school events? Why did Dad have 3 different driver's licenses hidden in his toolbox that I found while looking for a screwdriver? Why did we never visit relatives or have any family photos displayed anywhere in the house? The worst part was watching my younger brother Ethan accept it all as normal. He'd tell kids at school that our family had a door disease that made us allergic to nighttime visitors. When teachers called home asking about his strange explanations, Mom would hang up and we'd start packing again. Every move followed the same pattern. Dad would come home from work early, looking pale and checking his phone obsessively. Mom would start crying and pulling our emergency suitcases from the closet. We'd leave everything behind except clothes and a small box of documents that Dad guarded like his life depended on it. Where are we going this time? I'd ask. Somewhere safe, was always the answer. But safe from what? That's what I could never figure out. When I turned 16, I decided I'd had enough. My boyfriend Wesley was picking me up for prom at 7:30 p.m. and I told my parents he was coming whether they liked it or not. I was tired of being the weird girl who couldn't have normal teenage experiences because of some mysterious family paranoia. Mom went completely pale when I told her, "Cassidy, you don't understand what you're risking. Then explain it to me," I demanded, crossing my arms. I'm 16 years old and I deserve to know why we live like prisoners. Dad looked at Mom with this expression I'd never seen before, like they were having an entire conversation with just their eyes. Finally, he sank into his chair and poured himself a whiskey, something I'd never seen him do in my entire life. "Sit down," he said quietly. "Both of you." Ethan joined us at the kitchen table, sensing something big was about to happen. Dad's hands were actually trembling as he took a sip of his drink. "Your real name isn't Cassidy Morgan," he said so quietly I almost didn't hear him. "It's Cassidy Volkov, and your grandfather isn't dead like we told you. He's in federal prison." My stomach dropped to the floor. "What are you talking about?" Mom joined us, tears already streaming down her face. "Your father's family controlled the heroin trade on the East Coast for 30 years. When your dad testified against them, we had to disappear. I couldn't fit what happens next in this short video. Watch the rest down below."